What up, people? This is your boy Gerald. It is October 6th, 2021. How is everybody doing? I hope that your week is going well. You're halfway through, waking up to 2 more days before the weekend kicks in. But I hope you're well. I hope you're doing everything you need to do in regards to your health because there's only one you. Bear with me so I can wipe this down. Sorry, because I don't like this. There you go. I hope you're taking care of yourself, fam. Really, really. So, I'm grateful that there is a dialogue or attempted dialogue being discussed in regards to the individual's perspective of male and female. This is something I prayed about and prayed for back in 2012. Because those who know me, know my channel, I've been a cheerleader for relationships for a long time. But with that being said, I would be remiss not to say this. Stop thinking about a future relationship until you're ready to have a relationship with yourself. Because if you're moving and grooving and your tone is I, me, and that's your focal point, you'll never be able to elevate, graduate to saying us, we, both. You won't be able to use those because that is a singular mindset. Now, I know somebody's going to be saying, well, Gerald, I got to do what's best for me. I got to make sure that my ducks proverbially are aligned. I'm doing the work. And I'm trying to navigate my decisions. And I commend you on that. I do. But when are you going to get to the point to finally give yourself permission to look at those things that have traumatized you? Yeah, that one. Because until you decide to get comfortable with your discomfort, everything that you envision is going to be on delay. It's like being on a plane. I used this analogy a long time ago. It's like being on a plane in a holding pattern. Holding pattern. It's constantly. Sooner or later, you got to land. Because if you don't prepare for the landing, you're going to run out of fuel. That fuel may be your pride. That fuel may be your ego. That fuel might be your persona. But those three things I just described, there's no ownership in that. That ain't nothing but, it's just like an actor or actress in the supporting role of you. Who am I talking to? I used to joke. I never understood why, ladies, why is it so hard for you to decide where you want to go eat? Somebody laughing right now. Somebody is chuckling. He's saying he talking about me. I'm saying this collectively. You know you're hungry. Somebody say, "Hey, you're hungry?" You say, "Yeah." Where you want to go eat? You can't answer that. It's like your kryptonite. So let's spin it. If you know you want to have your happy ever after, how you think you're going to be able to know you're in your happy ever after if you have not navigated through your trauma, through your pain, through your discomfort, through your insecurity, through your truth? I'll wait. See, for some of y'all, this may be your first time you ever stumbled on my video, and I appreciate it because that means it was time for this to reach you. I'm a firm believer everything that you need will come and resonate in the intended time, intended moment when you're ready. And your position may be, I'm pissed off at what you're saying. You don't understand me. You don't know what I went through. You don't know the scars that I have. I don't. But what I do know is emotional scars are the hardest to heal because you can't see them. Just like air, you can't see it, but you rely on it. So, we got to at least acknowledge what we feel. We must authentically decide what we need to do. Who am I talking to? Why are you messing with Chauncey when you know emphatically Chauncey don't make you happy? He's just a placeholder till the man of your dreams appears. Well, let me explain something to you. King, queen, until you decide to do the work to be the you that you deserve, that person will never be revealed. Why? Because the person that is taking space in your life, in your reality, is the distraction. You're thinking to yourself, he talking about you. You're thinking, well, I got to compromise to get what I want. But what you're getting, is it truly what you need? Who am I talking to? Or if you're moving in a lower vibration, a lower energy, and you're saying, well, he don't respect me. He don't appreciate me. But the intimacy is heaven sent. I'll just put up with whatever you got to do because I don't want him to meet somebody else. So you're choosing to stay in your own misery. Let me tell you something, fam. Y'all gotta cut that bullshit out. Stop moving like you're second rate when you know it clashes to what you need intellectually. He don't stimulate you. She don't make you feel safe, but you come home every day. You put the energy in every day only to get trinkets of what's reciprocated. Listen for somebody. If you're in an environment that has discord, calamity, fear, uncertainty, and all it does is intensify your insecurity emotionally, and this is how you know, because you're falling apart. You're going to sleep, but you're not resting. Who am I talking to? You want to chalk that up and say, well, hey, uh, the job is kind of wearing me thin, but I'm committed to seeing it through. But you are better than that. Who am I talking to? This is for you. If you're in an environment that does not validate who you are, does not uplift or inspire who you are, if at all through the example of what it means, through their behavior, question, why are you there? Why are you there? Because I know some of you thinking that's the best you can do. Wrong. I'm saying this out of love. The best is yet to come. I know you heard that, right? It's true. But until you decide to put that one foot down, to stand on it, I don't care if you got to tippy toe it like you're putting your toe in a pool for the first time. You put that foot down and do something that you have never done, the clarity won't be there. But if you do, you know what's going to happen? And I'll be frank with you. Some of y'all are going to get pissed off. Some of y'all are already there to the point that is borderline manic. You feel proverbially like you're pulling your hair because you're feeling like no one's hearing you. They hear you. They hear you. They put you on mute. Why? Because you keep doing the same thing. Now, disclaimer. You have every right to have the conversation that you long to have. You know why? Because on the other side, that is truth. But before that, you are more or less championing, these soup coolers are not working, your insecurity. Did you hear me? Now, two things will happen for sure. By hook or by crook, you will know where you stand. And if you allow yourself to, as we say, keep it real, because I got to reach the intended person on the level that they hear me. I don't like doing this. Guess what happens? You will truly understand your worth. Hello. I keep telling you, you're priceless. You're not a martyr. You're not a victim. But you're required to do some work. If you don't like the outcome that makes your reality, why are you there? Why are you there? I'll do you one better. This is going to piss some of y'all off. And there's also a representation of your support system. So, because I'm pretty sure that they can tell you a million things of things you've shared with them. But if they haven't been a voice of reason to you to do better, they're not your friend. You're their entertainment. I'm going to do you one better because I know somebody needs to hear this. And it's sad. Some of you, your position is this: I can't talk to my girlfriend and tell her what I really need to know because I'm having problems with my intimacy. You more worried about if she gonna go after a man that don't want you than a man that needs to be with you. And be mindful of this. She ain't doing the work. She hope you be just like her. Who am I talking to? So what happens? The seasons change. The months pass. And what ends up happening is time that was at your access is removed. Why are you worrying about somebody that don't respect you? King, why are you with somebody that you can't communicate with? And if you can't communicate with, how do you feel safe to be vulnerable? You spend the same damn energy in these blogs listening to people that don't know nothing about a relationship, couldn't even navigate out of a wet paper bag, and you think that's gospel. But you know what's sad about it? None of those people that you see will do the work for themselves. Why? Because you're the entertainment. You are no less the status quo. And as long as you're distracted on the wrong things, they got something to tune into. And let's be honest. Let's be honest. Everybody say they want to have a fruitful relationship. Everybody say they want to be financially safe. But 50% of those people that say all that won't do a damn thing. And all they will do is grow older and end up becoming those bitter old people that you see in a town near you, in a city near you, in a state near you, worldwide. Why is that? Why? How did you get there? How did you get miserable? How are you so miserable, so bitter? Because you were deceived. You saw something that said, "Oh, that he talking about me. I can roll with that." But if you ever had the pleasure of meeting those sad people that got the fist of fury or 5 fingers of death on a keyboard in person, you would be looking at a walking contradiction. What I'm trying to say to you is this, fam. Stop worrying on the small, on the stuff that don't matter. Stop worrying about it. Hold that thought, because I need a bid for this one. I need one. I definitely do. Give me 1 sec. Okay, we're back. Had a little incident just now, but I'm glad I had it. So, because when I was getting ready to pause this, I said, you know what, I want a beer. Went to grab a beer. I had an empty beer right here. Went to put the phone on it. Falling on the darn on my driveway in my garage. Bro, psh, piece of glass. Boom. Hits my foot, cuts it. Just a little. It just pricked it, but I'm good. But I'm glad it happened because it made me think about something. And the point is, until you are ready to break out old habits and try something new, you are going to get the same outcome but worse. And I don't wish nothing bad on nobody. I don't. But speaking from a prerogative for myself, I was the same way. I was a hopeless romantic. Excuse me, because I'm multitasking. And it wasn't that I was in denial. It was the fact that I didn't understand the human dynamic. I truly didn't. I believe that if you do the work, if you put forth true intentions, you get a different outcome. Well, that was right. But we live in a duality world. Just as you have just as many people that are pure hearted, you got just as many out here with the sole intent to destroy it. And it's your difference, it's your responsibility to know the difference. Just like, for example, how many people you know that are intellectually smart? They're astute. They're just like borderline genius. But those same people have no common sense. And then you wonder why they end up becoming the victim. Could it be because of exposure? Could it be uh, adjustment? Or could it be the possibility there was no awareness there? There was no gauging there. There was no assessment there. Listen, here's my point. A lot of times when we get hurt emotionally, we will take on a position of trying to be strategic. We will get to the point where we think that our wit is all we need. And what ends up happening? The faces change, the environments change, but the outcome is the same. Who am I talking to? You say, well, if I'm the alpha, I call the shots, I got control. How many times have you done that and you come to find out you weren't in control of nothing? Who am I talking to? So here's my point. You need to acknowledge that where you're at, if you desire a relationship, you must first invest in establishing the relationship with yourself. How can you understand what it is to be loved if you're not loving yourself first? There is a process. How will you truly understand what it is to trust if you don't trust yourself? Same thing. How can you understand what it is to feel emotionally safe if you're not taking the responsibility to earn it with yourself? Who am I talking to? See, today's society has gotten social, and the underlining is they want you to embrace the mindset of a barter system. I'll give you this if you give me that. And then you end up having buyer's remorse. Why? Why are we speedballing through life when all is required is for you to take one logical step before the other? And as you're doing that, you smell the roses proverbially. Why? Is it because you want to keep up with the Joneses? We already know socially, queens. You don't dress for men. You dress for your peers, for social acceptance. Social acceptance. Guys do it too. But that also means there's a lack of insecurity to be the individual, to be the exception of the rule, not the status quo. Who am I freaking talking to? I know somebody saying, I know you ain't talking to me. I'm talking to you. I am talking to you because the other side of your bed is cold. Why? Because it could have been prevented now, couldn't it? If you had had the conversation. Now, that's not a bad thing. Oh, no. You know what they call that? That's having an emotional sabbatical. It's okay to take a proverbial step back. It's okay to take that emotional backpack and dump out all the things that make you feel insecure and look at them, assess them one by one, and take ownership on those same things that you put in there originally and say, well, you know what? I could have did it better if I had done this. And truly understand why you came to that conclusion. But see, most people, they'll choose pride and ego over their heart. And they wonder why they by themselves. Who am I talking to? Who am I freaking talking to? Meanwhile, your friends are laughing at you. Meanwhile, you can't get them on the phone. You know why? Because they got relationships. No matter even if they toxic as hell, you know they are. You done told them you need to get the hell away from them. But guess what? You need to stop. Because until they get tired of being tired, they're going to stay right there. And then usually when they get tired of being tired, guess what they do? They blow up your phone. You deserve better. Did you hear me? You deserve better. But you'll also come to understand that your environment is made up of your state of mind. So, if you got drama, you got bullshit, you got lack of ownership and accountability, it's because that's what's here. And you enjoy it. You realize how many people, queens, you know how many women secretly want to act tough, but are the same people that would long to have somebody that they can hold at night, they can cuddle with, have a decent conversation with, try something new, discover something about each and every. That's what intimacy is about. Not what, not what's in your pocket, not who you know. It's what makes you feel safe, what makes you smile, what brings emotional peace. Who am I talking about? I say this out of love, Queen. I'll do this one better. Stop looking for false attention. The only attention that you truly need is validation is from your daddy. I know somebody pissed off on that one. I don't have a relationship with my daddy. Ain't that the same reason why you don't have a relationship with any men that you dated? Because your first example of what a man is your dad or that male influence. When was the last time you picked up the phone and talked to him and said hi? Instead of putting your ego in front and saying, well, I'm grown, I don't need them no more. But you damn sure needed them when you were young. What's the difference now? See, a lot of people get it messed up, and they don't give respect where respect is due, because they look at the older generation or the elder generation before them as they're not aware, but they fail to realize they have done the same things you've done and worse. So at least, if they genuinely gave a damn about you, they're gonna say, "Hey, look here, this ain't what you want." And if they genuinely love you, they're gonna tell you why. Now, it might be something that you might be uncomfortable to hear, but you'll respect them for being transparent and giving you the truth. Who am I talking to? Why are you in an environment that you can't feel safe in? Well, you don't understand, Gerald. He floats my boat. That's why I call him. He can make me go to sleep. I sleep good when he here, but I gotta lock up my purse. Why you do that? That's a boy that's imitating being a man. And your sexuality don't make you an adult. Come on. Let's get that straight. And what you have acquired financially don't make you a man either. If you don't have the basic skills to be a man, you're not a man. You don't believe me? Watch this. Ask your friends. Ask your significant other, what's your purpose? And see what they say. If they cannot turn around and respond back within just as quick as you said it, they will never make you feel safe. That ain't nothing but lust. That ain't love. Because let me tell you something, Queen. The man that's going to be in your life, he knows the importance of what a covenant is. And he also knows the responsibility of having that covenant, of also having that covenant. Now you may be somebody that say, well, I don't have a spiritual connection. Do you do understand that being a fruitful relationship, you must have a spiritual connection? You do know that, right? And anything that is established without it will fail. Mm-hmm. That's why Adam and Eve, come on, think about it. Come on. But I get it. Society has convinced you to focus on your vitality, not your heart. He says, as long as I can stop traffic, Gerald, I can get what I want, but it's never what you need. You shouldn't feel like the only time that you hear I love you is because you're on your back. Some of your greatest in terms of endearment is not behind closed doors. It's done by doing. Who am I talking to? King, stop listening to those guys on them blog sites that want to tell you, hey, you don't need them. Do you? Those are going to be the same dudes that are going to be by themselves, or worse, the old man in the club. And mind you, even you half decent, you half decently got your head on your shoulders. You already know who's supposed to be in your life. They've shown you through their efforts. They've shown you with kindness. They've invested in you. You ain't taking serious because you got distracted. Don't you know that distractions are temporary? I'm saying this out of love. I'm trying to save you years from having to figure this out. I've been there, done that. But if you don't know yourself, guess what? You cannot expect a woman to unconditionally trust you with her life. Did you hear me? I used to always say that. If a person does not know their purpose, they will never understand their direction. And if they don't understand their direction, how do you expect someone to follow? Because you're supposed to lead. You can strip all the gender bureaucracy out there. At the end of the day, you're supposed to be a man. There are certain key aspects that you ain't gonna find on YouTube that are required of you to do. And where you look is within yourself. When was the last time you connected with that little boy? Not the boy up the street. The little boy in the mirror. And he pissed off at you. You pissed. Because you abandoned him. That's where your trust is. If you don't trust yourself, how can you make sound decisions? You do understand there are two gifts you are given as a man. If you're ready. The responsibility of changing a woman's last name to allow her to inherit your legacy. The second is to be a father, to protect and educate them by your example. Who am I talking to? But I get it. Society wants to tell you the slim pickings is what it is. BBD said back in 92, 93, poison, never trust a big butt and a smile, and you look around, that's all you see. Don't get me wrong, Queens. We love every inch of you because there's only one you. Even, I was going to say, even Stevie Wonder can see that. I'm not. Somebody laughing. But what makes you, you, starts here. Validated here. Demonstrated here. Appreciated here. He's out there. But I will tell you, like I've always told the first person that heard my voice, Queens, stop looking for a man. Prepare for him. King, be the man that your father couldn't. And then you might be saying, how dare you? How you going to say that, Gerald? Because think about all the conversations that he conveyed to you and what to do. Why? Because he was trying to protect you from you. So you didn't have to make the same choices he did. Each generation should have a better life than the generation before. So, y'all can keep playing these reindeer games and body switching. And I was with Tom yesterday, but I'm going to be with Larry tomorrow, and I'm going to be with Steve the following day. And listen, Queen, I would be remiss to tell you this. But I love you. You know why society wants you to be independent? Part of it is economic growth. But the stark reality is this. They want you to think like a man because they don't want you to be reproductive. There is a vast group of folks that believe this planet is overpopulated. And they want you to sabotage your vitality. So go ahead and sleep with everybody you want. Because if you keep doing it, the probability of what happened is you'll end up sterile. You'll end up stunting your lineage. That's what they want. That's what they want. King, they want you to keep playing reindeer games. They still want you to... Hold on. They still want you to play teenage games. Go ahead, sleep with everybody. Because they know with the potholes and strategies out there, the probability of you becoming sterile is higher or detriment to your life. They want that. And guess what? When you look at the dynamic when it comes to economic wealth, social advancement, that's one less piece to continue it, which means you're not a threat. We're not going to take you serious. You'll be a victim of your own demise. You got people to believe that. Think about it. Look at it from look at the last 3 years. Look at what's going on now. You know what's going on. Nobody's taking their health serious. You turn on the TV, sporting event, thousands and thousands of people breathing in, breathing out, touching this, grabbing that, but they're surprised they're getting sick. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. And they know if your mind is not right, your actions won't be right. Because where the mind goes, the body flows. So if you ain't moving like you should, you ain't a threat. You are one less person to compete with. They know that too. They would rather be an Amazonian community, proverbially, with a bunch of women that have no mates. Why? Because the divided house can't stand together. Because if they knew that we did, we would be a threat. Meanwhile, you'll never hear people take accountability for the choices that they make. Oh, you did that on your own. No ownership there. They know that. Queen, if you spend one more moment crying yourself to sleep, that's one more moment too much. You got to find that same fortitude and courage to look at the things that you're afraid of. And when you do, guess what happens? You will find comfort in your discomfort. But guess what? The more you acknowledge it, the more you're aware of it, the sting ain't there no more. It's not something to be afraid of, something to be ashamed of. Because you take ownership. And guess what happens? You become strong. So, you listen to your girlfriends if you want to. How's that track record? They got plenty of things to complain about, but they're not doing not one thing to change it. Why? Because misery loves company. And they hope that you decide to take a seat. You deserve better, fam. You do. I'd love to hear from you. Got any questions, concerns, hit me up in the inbox. But listen, it's 2021. We got enough things to worry about. But it doesn't matter until you decide to take care of you first. That does not mean take up a position of selfishness, vindictiveness, envy, fear. Nah. You want to change your life? You got to look at the things that are holding you back. And when you do, you get stronger. You'll understand what it means to love yourself, as well as understand what temperance is all about. He said, why are you saying temperance? Some of your strongest people know when and what to say. Why? Because you have a choice in that. It also shows you're more stronger than you think. Why? Because you deserve it. I know that, and I know you're hearing me. I can't wait till 2022 hits. What about you? Have a blessed week.